What is going on, you guys? I hope you're all having an embraceful day. Today, I'm not really going to be working on my car. I need to work on my sister's car and my mom's car. I wasn't planning on filming today since it is a weekday. I don't really film on during weekdays, but I decided, why not? Let's pick up the camera. Let's just film whatever it is that I'm going to need to do to the cars. I do need to do some things to both of them. So for those of you that actually want to stick around, stay tuned, watch the video. Those of you that don't care since I'm not working on my car, stay tuned to the next video. But for now, I'm going to get started with my sister's car. She's having this issue where her radio, this is a stock radio. She drives a 2010 Scion TC. You guys may have seen it in the channel before. The aux and iPod button don't work anymore. So since I have an aftermarket stereo on mine, I decided, hey, maybe my other stock one, the one that I had on the car, maybe that will fit onto here, and that will fix her issue for now, because she will be looking for a aftermarket stereo, but for now she just wants the aux cord to work. This is from my Scion, so it's a 2007, so I'm going to see if this one is a plug and play to this system, which I think it should be. So I'm going to start taking everything off from the center console, the waterfall, and the center console, of course. So the stereo is exposed after removing the waterfall. And where's the other piece at? Oh, right here. This other piece that goes right here. Now I think it's just the bracket that's holding the radio into place, so it's just gonna be this screw and this screw to remove. So I just figured out there's two more screws. Let me see if I can turn down the ISO. So right there, you can see there's another, that's a nut right there. That's another nut right there, and these two are screws. So I believe it'd be just those four. We'll find out after we try and take those off. So now it should be able to come off, but just don't pull it too hard, because there is still the wires that are back here that I need to unplug. So this is my sister's old one. I don't see what could have been the issue. I mean, everything was plugged in and whatnot. This cord was a little bit hard to pull out because there was a screw that was right here. So if you're pulling out your radio, there's a screw there you need to remove. So since this is my sister's, this is mine, it does appear to be the same, except for this port. There's no port that's right here. I don't know why. There's no port. I don't know what this is for. So I might have to plug this into the car and see what that does, because it is eliminating one port. Or maybe we can slide this somewhere, or maybe it's behind here. Maybe I'll try taking this top piece off, and maybe there's a port behind here. Maybe this is a shield that you can take off. So behind that thing, there is no plate. There's nothing that's back there. So I don't know. Let me try taking this piece off. Maybe we can transfer something here to over here. Not sure. Or I mean, I don't even know what this thing does. So who knows, we might not even need it. But for now, let's just take this off before we start putting everything back on the car. Even though I can probably just test this on the car right now and see what does work, what doesn't work. But for now, I think the easiest thing to do is just remove this side now. See what that is. So it does appear for there to be a board back here. I don't know what it's for though. But it does look like we could replace it, maybe, possibly. So I decided just to plug in the radio, my radio, onto here. There's just that connection that's missing, and that other connector is way different than what that is. Originally, this connector is down here, but I'm guessing maybe it could be somewhere over here. You just gotta change the connectors. Not sure, but I got the car on. See if it powers on. Power turns on. Okay, that's a good sign so far. Let's see. Okay, radio works. Oh snap! Now let's see. What we really needed to figure out is if the aux works. Please switch. Please switch. Oh no! Oh no! This works. Why doesn't the aux work though? That's interesting. So that means it has nothing to do with the stereo, because my aux would work. Huh, that's weird. That is definitely weird. So I don't know, I do not know what's going on. It has to be something to do with the wiring, I'm sure. So I was reading a couple forums, and it says it's this piece, the auxiliary input that connects from inside of the center console. And I was watching some of the pictures on the forum, and this piece right here is like connected to this piece. So I don't know if it unsoldered, but that looks pretty clean for it to be unsoldered. So I don't know, I'm gonna try and solder those two pieces together, see if that helps, because it's saying that this is the issue. It's not really the wiring or anything like that. They say this is a common problem with the TC. So I'm gonna try that out and see if that fixes the issue. It probably wasn't even the head unit. We might even be able to reuse this head unit that my sister had in there. So it might be this all along. We'll see right now. So I already soldered it right here. If it focuses, I soldered it. I connected it, but nothing happened, nothing worked. So I don't know what's the issue. I might have to leave it like that, maybe buy another aux port right here and try and replacing it like that. If it doesn't, it might have to be a wiring issue, because I don't know what's the problem. There wasn't a really in-depth tutorial on like how to fix it. I mean, I found it on a Toyota Camry or Corolla, and I mean, it's both Toyotas, so I thought it would work, but I guess it doesn't. So I might have to leave it like this for now. I'm probably gonna put my sister's stereo back onto the car and just leave it like that for now until I can get a hold of another one of these ports. I did try, I don't know, I think I mentioned it. I tried putting my port onto there because I'm not gonna be using mine, but this connector is a lot different than the one that's on the car. I guess you'll be able to tell right here. So if I unplug it from here, this connector is like that. This other one is like that. So as you guys can tell, totally different connectors. Mine is a 2007, hers is a 2010. So I mean, I wish I was able to use this one, but I guess I'm not. Maybe I can unsolder it and solder the other connector, but that would be a pain. I'd rather just buy a new connector, a new port to make it work if that's the issue. So for now, I'm just gonna put the car back together and get started on my mom's car, because there's quite a bit that I need to do on her car. Also, if any of you guys have dealt with any issues like this regarding the aux port and stuff like that, or the radio, if the radio is the issue, or wiring, whatever it might be, if whatever you guys did in order for it to fix it, make sure you guys drop it down in the comments down below. It'd really be appreciated. Maybe I can figure it out. Maybe it's something else that's wrong with the car, but for now, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's just the aux port. So we'll see what the problem is. Hopefully you guys are able to help out as well. So I apologize for the wind noise if you guys end up hearing any wind noise on the video. I ended up carrying off this video onto the weekend because I didn't have enough time to do what I needed to do to my mom's car that day. So this is my mom's 2010 Nissan Maxima. It recently just got into a wreck, a front end wreck. Some guy ran a stop sign and my mom ended up hitting them like by the wheel. So I'll put a couple pictures right here of what the car used to look like. Of course, right now it's already fixed, but it did end up changing the title from clean title to a salvage title. So well, basically what I'm gonna be doing today is I have to, there's some lights that I'm guessing they didn't plug in the plugs back in, because we do need to take the car back to the DMV. We need to check in, make sure everything's okay. So I'm gonna make sure all the lights work, everything like that. I'll show you guys the things that aren't working. Not everything is perfect. As you guys can tell, this panel gap right here is a lot more open than this panel gap that's right here. I mean, it's not going to be a 100% perfect job, because I mean, we didn't pay much to get this car fixed. We just wanted it to get put back together in order for us to drive it again. So I mean, we didn't pay much. I think it was like $2,400 in order to fix the car. The insurance gave my mom 11 grand and the car, so we ended up fixing it for $2,400, which isn't a bad deal. I mean, there's gaps a little bit right here on the hood that's not really noticeable. This hood did bend a little bit right here in the front, but they repaired it. I'm pretty sure they put bond on and whatnot, because this is the same hood that got in the wreck. Of course, they repainted it right here. This fender was a little bit pushed back, which is why there's a little bit of play right here. They didn't paint this because there's still some scratches right here, which this panel gap was pushed up against the door. The door didn't want to open. It cracked this little piece of the glass. My dad already ended up fixing it with his friend. He came over and he fixed that. But I mean, there's only a few things that need to go on in order to get the car like registered in DMV. Is just get these lights working, because I think it's the turn signal light and the daytime running lights that aren't working. And I want to get the engine bay cleaned out, because I mean, it's filthy. Let me show you guys. So as you can tell, when they wet sanded it, they left it all nasty. There's a couple clips that are missing here and there that need to be replaced, but I mean, all this, it's all nasty, gunky, whole bunch of Bondo in this little area. I mean, it's pretty much filthy all in here. As you guys can tell, all that. This, they didn't even put the things back. It's all filthy in here. Down here, some panels are all like loose and whatnot. Basically, this front end just got pushed in a little bit. I think the only thing you had to replace was the core support, and you just had to pull the body out a little bit. So it wasn't much of a damage, but it was enough to get the car totaled and make it a salvage, not totaled, well, I guess totaled, but make it a salvage title. So that's basically all I want to finish off doing today, just getting the inside all cleaned off. I don't know how to take off the bumper. I need to learn how to take off the bumper because we need to get behind, we gotta get access behind the headlights. So let's get to work. Let's get this bumper taken off. Let's see what's wrong with the headlights, and let's get the engine bay cleaned out. Also, while I'm at it, I'm gonna make sure I check all the bolts, nuts, and screws on here, because when we recently got the car back, the nuts on the hood were like loose on both sides, and you can see that the hood was like flapping a little bit. So I'm gonna make sure everything is tight, nothing's gonna fall apart or anything like that. I know there's some clips missing. We might have to go to AutoZone just to get some temporary clips or something like that in order to get all this held into place. But I'm gonna make sure everything gets double checked. So I got the front bumper taken off, and as you guys can tell, look how dirty it is from the inside from the wet sanding that they did. They didn't even bother cleaning it out. I mean, all this as well, you can see right there, all still on the bottom guard. And as I was checking on the bolts, look at this screw, this bolt that's right here, that's untightened. Watch, spin it by hand. This one as well. So that's why I'm going over the car, making sure everything is tightened, because the last thing we want is something to fall off and, you know, it falls on the highway, the freeway, city limits, and it hits another car or anything like that. We're trying to prevent anything from that happening. Right here, I'm pretty sure that's cross-threaded. I mean, it's wiggly, but I mean, like I said, they did do a cheap job, because I mean, they didn't charge as much. We just wanted it to be functional in order for us to drive it on the road. So we didn't want to pay like a lot of money to get it back on the road. So you guys will be able to see, you know, not everything is perfect. Right here, it was a little bit bent. We might have to spray paint right here, that way it doesn't rust. This bolt is probably cross-threaded. I'm gonna check these. These seem to be tight. Seem to be, but I mean, I'm still gonna go over the whole entire car, make sure everything is tight. The bolts or the screws that were holding the bumper are all different. Under the car, it was all different. A zip tie to hold the bumper on. So let's check the lights so you guys can see what we're looking for in order to get these working. That way the DMV sees that the car is functional. So with the headlights on, there we go, should be on. So the light is on there, the light is on there, but the daytime running light is on there. On this side, it's not on. Then the high beam right there is on. The high beam right there is off. So this side was the headlight that they replaced. I'm pretty sure that's why everything is plugged in. This one, I'm pretty sure they unplugged it and they forgot just to plug it back in. So we are gonna have to take the headlight off and trying to see if that's true, or maybe we can even check that under here, see if the wiring right here is not plugged in or something like that. So I'm thinking it has something to do with the wiring, because the headlights are on right now. So the daytime running lights are on. The headlights are on. This side, the headlights are on. No daytime running lights. But if I were to do the turn signal to the right, so the running light starts blinking, correct? Now let's go to the other side. On this side, the turn signal starts blinking, so the bulb is fine. So I'm guessing something has to do with the wiring. They forgot to wire it up to the running lights, which might take some time to figure out. So I want to go over a couple things right now, but just want to explain something. This paint is not even that well, like it's not even that good. Right now with the wind, the bumper fell down like flat towards the concrete. Normally with good quality paint, it will never scratch, or it won't like have like deep engravings like that good. So it fell. Look at the engraving, how crazy it is. I mean, it just fell slightly. Look at all the engraving. Look at right here. So I mean, the paint isn't really that great, so that kind of sucks that it kind of got scratched right there. Now going back to the headlights. Oh, actually I want to show you guys something else. So I guess instead of replacing this headlight, they decided to JB weld right here, this small little piece. There's still some cracks right there, but that's not even the worst part. Look at that big old chunk that's missing. What the heck? They should have just replaced the whole light. Anyways, moving on to the point, I tested the power leading out of the high beams. I'm checking for the high beams first, and power is on this side of the wiring. So I labeled it on the bulb. Power is supposed to be on this side, so the wire of power is supposed to be like right there. I checked the power coming from the plug. There's no power coming from it, and as you guys can tell, it was spliced. So there's something wrong with the wiring right here, and now I have to take off all this from the loom and try to figure out what's going on. Took off the electrical tape from this little piece right here. Look at that, it's not even soldered. It doesn't even have a connector. Like, what the heck? Freaking jank ass stuff. So I got these connections disconnected from where supposedly this was the high beam, and I disconnected it. Now this light turns on. Now we're just missing this one. So what I'm noticing right now is they tried splicing in. See how this one, dude, what the heck? Now they tried splicing these two things together. So now there's something wrong with this. I'm pretty sure it has something to do right here. This is wrong as well. I don't know what the heck this is, but this is getting power. This, I believe, goes to the fog light. But on the other side, this, the other side has original wiring. It's blue and black for the regular beam, the low beam. But this one is a connector that, let's see if they even spliced it in. And actually, this is not spliced in, so I don't know what this goes to. Doesn't look like they spliced it in. Yeah, this looks like it hasn't been modified, and this is what goes to the ballast for the regular low beams. So I don't know. I'm still gonna try and figure this out. There's wiring that's not supposed to go where it's supposed to go. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. So it's already 1:30 in the afternoon. I started super early on this, and I'm just finishing up with all the wiring stuff. The wiring stuff, I mean, takes so long. It's so tedious, but I mean, I was able to get it done. So what ended up happening is they mixed up the fog light wires with the daytime running wires and with the high beam wire. So everything was a little bit mixed up. So now I redid the fog light wiring, which you guys will see that's right there. I redid the running lights and the turning signal, and then this is the high beam, this is the low beam. It's not plugged in because the low beam's on the car, but wow, so you guys can check it out. I already got everything plugged back in. There. So that should have both daytime running lights on. Fog lights are on. High beam is not on yet because we didn't flip the high beam. So if we flip the high beam, bam, high beam is on, bam. So now that I got everything worked out, friggin' finally, now I'm gonna put the headlight back on, put everything back together with the headlight, and then I'm gonna unplug the battery and start cleaning the engine bay out because it's pretty filthy, as you guys can see, really filthy. I didn't plan on taking this long to finish this, but had a lot of altercations regarding the wiring and stuff like that. Blew a fuse and stuff. So time-consuming stuff, but I was able to get it done finally. So let's get everything put back together. Let's get the engine bay cleaned out, and let's get this project done already because it's taking way too damn long. If you guys are curious on how I figured out all the wiring problems, I just used this circuit tester to make sure what has power and what doesn't have power. So that thing really comes in handy when you're dealing with electricity stuff. So for the most part, I got the front bumper all cleaned up. The engine bay looks a lot nicer than what it did before. The under tray as well, pretty clean. The reason I'm not putting the headlights back on the car and the bumper back on the car is because I need to adjust the headlights. Because last time I drove this car, which was 2 days ago, or when we first got the car back, when I drove my dad, the headlights were kind of like low. So I need to adjust them to be a little bit higher and a little bit even, because one is higher than the other. So I'm gonna wait till later on at night, put the car in front of the garage door and try and level it out where it's supposed to be. I already kind of have it where to park the car and where the light should be, so it shouldn't be that hard. Just the only hard thing about it would be just taking off the headlight, putting it back on, which is the reason I'm not bolting it on. I'm just gonna adjust it, just slide it in, adjust it, slide it in if it needs any more adjusting. So I guess we're gonna pick it up till later on tonight, get those adjusted, and then we'll throw the front bumper back on, and that should be it. So I got the headlights put back onto the car to see where the beam is at. So it's not really that dark out, but you're still able to see where the beam is at. This one is a little bit higher than the one on the left. Usually where I like to aim, I usually like to park the cars, the headlights perfectly aligned to this line right here. I usually like to align the headlights like up to here, so we still got quite a bit of ways to go. So I'm gonna start adjusting and we'll get there at one point or another. For those of you that don't know how to adjust your headlight beam, it's basically just this dial that's behind your headlight. You adjust that either whichever way it is to make it higher, make it lower, until you get it to your desired preference, then that's where you stop. So I got the beams adjusted. As you guys can tell, they're perfectly aligned where they're supposed to go. This one, which was this headlight, is a Taiwanese ballast and whatnot, so I don't know, it looks a lot brighter, maybe because it's a lot newer than this side. This side may need to get replaced, not sure, but I mean, it's probably because it's all foggy in there. Right here it's all clear, crystal clear. But pretty much got the whole headlight assembly put back together. Both running lights are on. Regular light, or low beam, both running lights, low beam, and then check the high beams. Both high beams are on. Bam and bam. So I was starting to put the bumper onto the car and I was about to connect the fog lights. That fog light, which was untouched, fit perfectly fine, but this one ended up having this bulb. Now what's the issue with having this bulb? This bulb does not fit inside here. It does not lock. It does not lock into place, so it could just fall out and it could break, create like a little short or something like that. But what I noticed is that the plug that's on the car for the fog light that the shop put, it's specifically for this type of bulb. So the bulb size that this car is supposed to have for the fog lights are H11s, but this bulb does not fit because it has that little center plastic piece that you guys see right there. So that's not allowing it to sit onto here. As you guys can tell, there's no gap in the middle that's supposed to allow the bulb to sit all the way flush. So now what I have to do is I have to cut this plug off. I bought another plug. This plug, I'm going to replace it with this one, and this one should solve the issue and fit the proper bulb in order for it to lock into place over there. Because as you guys can tell, look at the top, it has those metal hooks, which is supposed to be in front, and this one has the plastic locks, which are a little bit farther back. If focus it, there you go. So I'm going to switch this connector out, and then we'll plug the fog lights back in, put the bumper on, and we should be done. We should, if there's no more issues, if there's no more jank stuff that the shop did. So I just got done installing the front bumper. I don't have the top screws in just yet. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning. I can actually buy some bolts and get everything like positioned perfectly, because right here it does have like a little bit of play. So I want to be able to put like some bolts that will hold it down. So if I put some pressure here, like create some tension and it holds it down. So I'm gonna buy some hardware tomorrow morning. I still haven't put the ones over here, the ones on the side, the screws, because I want to do the middle first and then I'll do the outside, and then we still got to do the underneath, but I'll do that tomorrow. The main part, I mean, pretty much is done. Watch, let me turn on all the lights. I'll turn them on. So as you guys can tell, the low beam is on, running lights are on. Once again, low beam is on, running lights are on, fog lights both on. They're both working now. And then you guys have already seen the high beams, but I'll put the high beams on. High beams on, high beams on, fog lights off, fog lights off. So that works perfectly. So I think that's where I'm gonna end today's video. I got pretty much everything I wanted to get done. Getting the engine bay cleaned up, getting the wiring taken care of, fixing the issues with the lights not turning on, and I mean there's quite a bit of issues. But I mean, I originally wanted to do this car on my own. I wanted to fix it up from the crash, and you know, kind of like make it be the first car to actually build it from a crash. I kind of don't know how to explain it, but nonetheless, my dad said he wanted to take it to a shop so they can get it done. But whatever. I mean, I still needed to take the car apart and figure out some things because they did some pretty bunk stuff. But nonetheless, I'm glad I got it taken care of. Now my mom can take the car to the DMV and she can get it registered as a salvage title now, of course. But at least now everything works. Everything's gonna check out fine. I did get a lot of stuff done today with the Rocket Bunny kit, doing some bodywork stuff and things like that. And the good thing is that I'm gonna use this video as a filler video. So tomorrow Sunday, I'm gonna work on the Rocket Bunny, the bodywork stuff on that the whole entire day without filming. So it's gonna speed up the process a lot faster, even though there's no point of speeding up the process since I don't have the wheels. Depending on when I get the wheels, that's when it's actually going to be complete, because we gotta finish the arches, the arcs. Arches or arcs? Arches are like the arrows, arcs, I mean. So that's where I'm gonna end today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and embrace yourself.